Greetings, members of the 931st Air Refueling Group. This month's commander's message is coming to you from the Force Support Squadron. These are truly unsung heroes of our group whose efforts every day touch our lives in more ways than you might think. They're not out at the jet, they're not normally armed, they don't fly the airplanes, but what they do is of importance to making our quality of life better. And I'll tell you what, you get a retiree coming through that door looking for an ID card so they can get to the pharmacy to get his prescription refilled and find out that the card machine is down like it is today, it's going to get ugly. And there's no red ball maintenance you can call to fix that on the spot. So they deal with lots of things, but on a more serious note, there's a couple of things that happened just recently that highlight what they do, and we want to emphasize their importance. One being kind of a sober event where we had an air crew was killed and an airplane went down, Shell 77, just recently, which highlights the idea that we need to make sure that our affairs are in order so that when that happens that our families are taken care of. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how they touch that part of our lives. The second was the recent tornado down in Oklahoma City that occurred on Monday of this week. Of course, when that happens, we have reservists that live down there. It becomes my responsibility to account for them to the higher headquarters, and in fact we got a tasking to do that. And so one of the systems that we use is AFPAS system, which tells us who lives in the area and gives us a chance to reach out and see if we can find them, whether they need help or their families need help, and that all emanates from this office. So they do a lot of things, and most of us take for granted what they do because we see them when we show up first time in the Air Force, and we see them when we leave, and we want everything to be right. But the things that they do day in and out affect everything from our promotions to our education to our decorations to all of the things that we do that we want to keep records of. And I don't know about you, I can't keep track of my own personal records, let alone 650 reservists and all the retirement community. Today I'm here with Tech Sergeant Spangler, who works in the FSS office with a number of other individuals here. She's going to explain a little bit to us about what they do in the different organizations and what we can do as reservists, what we can provide them so that they can help us as best possible. So we'll let you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you do and what some of your other office staff does.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the MPF. In here, what we do is we provide ID cards, any TAMP benefit, medical benefits, updates, promotions, EPR, OPR, gains, losses, retirements. But what's important in here is we do support active duty, retirees, civilians, dependents. It's very important for you to come and update your address and any kind of change of events that happen in your life. These are the things that are important because if an event does happen or a casualty happen or something that we need to contact you, we have your information to contact you.
Now, I noticed something here. There's an ID card here that we've got. When someone comes in to get an ID card, do they update their DEERs at that time?
Yes, sir. When we do have a customer that come in, we'll pull up their information, and what we do first is verify all their information before we cut their ID cards. You know, we'll verify their address, we'll verify their phone numbers, make sure everything is current and correct before we process their ID card.
And that information flows into everything from medical benefits to
medical benefits. Anytime we need to contact them, any emails or stuff that needs to be sent out, letters.
Now let me explain a little bit about, we have the ad hoc system that we've talked about on previous messages. Is a globe, this purple globe on your computer. We use that for notifications, but there's an AFPAS system that's an accountability system that takes your information in DEERs, loads it into AFPAS so they know where you live, where your dependents live, so that if something catastrophic happens, that we know who is in that area. And even people who go TDY on orders or on leave, it's updated by this office so that it updates your position where you are. So it's vital that you keep your DEERs updated so that it flows into so many other systems.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so some of the other duties that we do?
Some of the other areas like career development, they do promotions, gains in your loss, retirements, any kind of officer packages and stuff like that. Over there we have our OPR, EPR, and awards and decks. And then we also have, what I do is customer service, ID cards, your SGLI, your family SGLI, your VRED, all those important documents in case a situation might have happened. We also do any kind of in-processing orientations and out process. It is like, I want to stretch this because it's very important for you guys to bring your orders here because, so we could put you guys in the correct status, know where you're at and how to contact you in any kind of situation.
Now, one thing just recently happened, I was on a VTC with General Kyle and General Gorley, and they were talking about our last AEF deployment cycle. And to their credit, with the personnel readiness section here, we deployed 114 people in the last cycle, and we had 0 discrepancies, which means everybody made it there with the training, with their personnel records updated, and with all the equipment they needed, and we had no discrepancy. So hats off to this organization that plays a large part in that. In closing, what I'd like to do is remind you about some events that are coming up. We have our UTA coming on June 1st and 2nd. On the 2nd is Wingman Day, starting at 10 o'clock, going to 12 o'clock, where we're going to focus on resiliency types of issues. Also on the 2nd in the afternoon is Family Day. And we want you to bring your families and come on out and have a good time with us, and we're going to barbecue. We've got some games. It should be a lot of fun. On a somber note, the crash of the airplane, many of you have heard about it. Yes, the aircraft came from here. It was a crew from Fairchild. Our thoughts and prayers go out to their family. It's a small community in the tanker world, and we're a close-knit group, and we feel for those folks who have had a loss. At the same time, big news this week. We got selected as the preferred location for the main operating base for the KC-46, which is huge for the reserves and huge for McConnell. It's an honor to be selected, and now it goes to Congress to put their stamp of approval on it. But that means that we are going to grow as the reserves here, so we're extremely excited about the opportunities that brings with it. And lastly, it's just good for us to kind of take back with the things that have happened recently with the tornado and the crash and other things, and just kind of remember what we do. You know, it's inherently dangerous serving in the military. Sometimes we get distracted by additional things that are piled upon us, or other things that go on in our lives, but we need to kind of recoil and remember what we're all about and do it safe. And as we get ready for inspections, I know there's a big push there, but we need to do our job safely. And I'm looking forward to having everybody out here in the UTA, so come join us, bring your families. It should be a lot of fun. And again, the 931st, I appreciate all you do. I can't say that enough. You do a great job, and I'm very proud to work with you. Thank you.